Hey YouTubers, so I decided to go ahead and add a brake booster vacuum reservoir to my truck. This is the one that I selected. Basically, coming from the intake, we'll be going to here. Let's see here. And there's a check valve here. It goes there. So I just basically take the hose that's connected to my brake booster, disconnect it from that, and connect it here. Then I connect the hose from here to the brake booster. That way I'm pulling vacuum into the canister, and I've got a big reservoir here now. So that way anytime I stop, I think I'm gonna get more consistent stops. Anybody that drives these trucks knows that you know, the brakes are so-so. To me, they seem real inconsistent. They don't go all the way to the floor. It's got new brake lines, brake fluid, brake booster, calipers. It's got new rear brakes, all that good stuff. I bled them a couple of times thinking that maybe there was some air in the line. Maybe I'm just used to driving newer vehicles and not really used to the softness of the pedal. But I notice that when I'm coming off the highway and I've got really high vacuum, that the brakes tend to work a lot better. They feel stiffer. So when I'm coasting, like say I'm going down the highway and I'm start coasting, let my foot off the gas, my vacuum goes up to about 21 inches of mercury. When I'm normally, let's say I'm doing 65 down the highway, I'm probably about 10 or 12 inches of mercury. But at 20 inches of mercury, when I'm letting off the gas, at that 20 inches of mercury, I'm getting some really good brake feel. So I'm wondering by adding this that maybe I can add some better brake pedal feel. So I'm going to try it. I've only found really one place to mount this in my truck. So I'm going to try that. What I've got here is the bracket. It just mounts onto here like this. See that? And then I'll mount this bracket to where I'm going to show you where I'm going to put it. I mean, I've just got a lot of stuff under the hood. A lot of you guys may have a lot more room. Maybe you don't have air conditioning. Maybe you don't have this second battery. If I didn't have the second battery, I'd probably have a lot more extra room. So what I'm going to do, let me show you, is I'm going to put this bracket, it's a little bit dark, but right here on the hinge, like that. I found, you know, closing the hood, I've got plenty of room down in this space right here. I've got plenty of room. It's not touching the other solenoid. It's not touching any of my electrical stuff down here. It's clearing this hinge here, the spring. So I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to try that. You know, I want to see if I can get some better brake, you know, pedal feel. Now, you may notice that my truck's jacked up, and if some of you have seen some of my other videos, you know that this is a frame-off restoration. My truck's jacked up because after I was driving it for about, I guess I probably had about 300 miles on it, I started noticing that the rear end started whining. I wasn't sure that it was the rear end, but it was whining pretty good. I'm going to do another video on the rear end. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do it, start it from the beginning where I took the, you know, the carrier out and took it to the gear place and all that stuff. But I'm going to start it after I get done with this and put another video out for that. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because the rear end was something that I had rebuilt by a guy with a shop in his backyard, and maybe from what I've heard from the gear guys at the axle shop, they said that it's a common mistake that he made, and he had too much torque on some of the couple of things, and You know, the specs are different for some of the newer gear sets, and he didn't realize that. And yeah, I had some pretty good wine, some really nasty fluid after only 300 miles. But anyway, I'm going to do another video on that. So what I want to do is I want to get my tripod. I'm going here in my office. I'm going to grab my tripod here and see. Well, maybe not, because this thing is not. I may have to just prop this up for you guys while I'm doing the canister change out. So let me see if I can find something to prop this up on so you guys can see. Maybe I can put it right here while I'm doing my thing, or maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So that's a pretty good shot of where I'm going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this bolt off here and for the hinge. Looks like it's going to be 7/16. I think it is, and it's not. It must be a metric. Hello?
How you doing, sir? I'm looking for next door and I'll complete the chain.
Oh, I don't know whether there's a note on the door. I don't know anything about it. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's a metric and it's a 10 millimeter. So let's get this bolt out. I'm going to insert it into this top bolt here for the hinge. Awesome, it fits. I was worried that bolt wouldn't fit through the hole. So now I'm going to put this back, the bracket back, into the bolt hole. I'm not going to worry about a second bolt for that until I think that canister is going to be a permanent fixture in the truck. Because you never know, it could run, might not be any better. And or it might be worse, and I might want to take it back out. So anyway, now the next thing is I'm going to prep the canister, and there's a couple of things here I need to do. This thing came with this elbow, this brass elbow, and again this valve here. It also came with the bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Teflon tape, and we're going to, let's see if I can, guys, I'm going to get some sort of tripod for my phone. I'm hoping you guys hang out with me because you want to see this happen, and pardon the crazy camera stuff. Okay, so we're gonna put some tape. So again, this elbow is what's going directly to my brake booster now, and then the vacuum line is going to the other side of this canister. Okay. Okay, got some Teflon tape on it. Okay. So I already know by the way I'm going to mount it where I need this thing to point to. So this is going to be angled towards the back of the truck, this side here. So I'm going to turn this to the brake or to the engine side. There we go. And then I've got one more. We got this little cap here, this little hex cap. Grab a hex wrench, and I got lucky. I just picked it up. Just happened to pick up the right wrench. So I'm gonna put some tape around this. If you guys know any better product to put on these things for the vacuum side, let me know. But I usually just use Teflon tape. So that's in there real good. It doesn't feel like there's a stomp on it. I'm just going to go right there. And of course this goes back in here. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to angle this down because I'm going to have the PVC tube loop down underneath the okay, it all feels pretty. Looks like it's going to be airtight. So here we go. A better picture of it. So here's what's coming going to the engine, and then this is going to the brake booster. So let's take it back over to the truck. See if I can get this camera set back up. We're going to mount this. And I got everything turned the wrong way. Try this again. Okay. All right, guys, sorry for the dead air. Here we go. And that's the way I got it set up now. So, this back preventer valve, I guess what it is going to go towards the engine, and then this is going to my brake booster. Let's get it bolted in. This is going to be kind of tricky. Yeah, it is. It's going to be tricky. Yeah, it looks like I warped it a little bit when I installed it, but I'm not sure why I did that. Okay, let's try it again. Maybe because it was made in China. Just a little bit more. Oh. So the bolt holes don't want to line up real well. There we go. Lock washer. And a nut. Feel free to fast forward this, I guess, till I can stay on there. There we go. So, some of you, if you haven't been following my channel, this is a 1985 F-150. Got a 351 Windsor in it. I had that bored out to 60 over. It's got the Edelbrock Performer intake, and I also have installed the Phytech, their 400 horsepower version, some aftermarket distributor and coil. Try to keep as much factory as I could on the truck. It's still got the factory differentials. You know, the factory the C6 transmission still has that. You know, the interior is fairly original. I think as I do some other things to the truck, you know, show the interior and things like that, because I've got to put a. It's funny how after you get the truck together, done a full restore, some parts you keep on there that were already on there, then you regret it later on, like the window regulator, or the power window on the passenger side has gone out. So, okay, I'll get back to that. So here it is right here. So here's the canister, and so if I close the hood, it's not going to hit anything. It looks real good. Just that one wire for the light here. But that's about it. Otherwise, it's pretty clear. So I'm liking that. And again, there's my connections there. So all I need to do is find a hose. Maybe I've got a hose in my shop that will go to the back of the carburetor where I've got it hooked up already. I've got some hose here. I'm not sure if I've got the right size. This is a big hose. This is 1/2 inch. That's gonna be way too big. That's not vacuum hose. That's probably the hose that I need right there, but I definitely don't have enough of it. That's hose for fuel injection. No, that's not the right size either. That's gonna be pretty good size too. All right, guys, so I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna run to the parts store, and I'm gonna grab some hose. I may have to grab 2 pieces because I think these are different sizes. I need the hose, a small piece of hose. Matter of fact, I can probably cut that hose because that hose is going to go to the brass fitting, and then all I need is a hose to go back to the vacuum source. So guys, I want to get all that sorted out, and then I'm going to come back online and finish it up. Okay guys, so I actually had some vacuum tubing around the shop. So basically, that's how it is. It's this tube right here is going to the actual brake booster itself. And then the other vacuum line is this one right here is coming from the engine. So this one here is coming from the engine. This one's going to the brake booster. Engine ends up over here, the back side of the carburetor. Just like that. So I'm kind of hesitant to start the truck because I don't really want to start it on blocks, but I think so we can finish up this video. I'm going to start it, and we'll put that there. Well, let's just go ahead and put this back on, the air cleaner. I really feel like we probably want to put that on. Air cleaner. It's kind of a trick to get this on there because it's got a 1-inch spacer. If you ever get a Phytech carburetor, most likely on these Fords, especially these Windsor engine, you're probably going to have to get a spacer for the breather, simply because this is what happens. It's gonna, that 1-inch spacer was perfect for me, and I was able to get up over everything, the plug wires and all that. So something to think about if you get a Phytech. There's a few things that you're gonna have to get. Linkage, throttle linkage stuff, and maybe I'll get into that one day, what all it took to get the Phytech on. But I love it. It's been running really good. So we got that on, got all that hooked up. And the cool thing about the Phytech is the control module inside, you know, tells me how much vacuum I have. So I can't mash the brakes because, of course, I don't want to jack all that up. So I'm gonna get the keys. I can find them somewhere. There they are. We'll start it up and bring it up here a little bit. Start the truck up. Again, I've got it on blocks, so I really want to be careful. Start it up and just show you the vacuum anyway. And then when I do the get the rear end done, do that video. If you guys look at that video at the end of that one, when I go to test drive and everything, we'll look at the overall performance of the brakes with that new reservoir on it. So here we go, everything's there. That's showing 8 inches, 12 inches of mercury. Okay, so that'll do it for this video. If you want to see how the brakes perform, my next video for the rear end, when we get all that put back together, we'll do all that. So anyway, thanks for watching.